we have a 55-member country AU, of which Namibia is a member state. And specifically in 2015, the ordinary assembly of heads of states and governments that usually convene, at this AU, headquarters in Addis Ababa, specifically adopted a developmental agenda for the whole continent, for all the member states, to propel development and specifically sustainable development and inclusive growth. So in that blueprint, which is specifically called the Agenda 2023, a 50-year, you can think, if this was really adapted, it came as far as 2015. It's really a long-term development plan. So they adapted the Agenda 2063 to drive this, sustainable economic development, for the continent. And key to the Agenda 2063 is the creation of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And what does it do? The free trade area, it does nothing else but really, to mobilize, to bring all the 54 member countries into a single market, that can be leveraged and provide potential for trade among the African countries. And when we are talking of the 54 member countries, we are talking of a market of about 1.4 billion population, and we are talking of, a multi-trillion dollar, economy that will be pulled to enhance trade among the countries.
So as far as Namibia is concerned, what is the game plan as far as participating in the AfCFTA? What do you think are some of the key objectives for Namibia and what that it hopes to achieve through participation in the AfCFTA?
Yes, we need to be very much cognizant of what's currently the status quo. We know we have the triple challenges. We have the triple challenges, of course, unemployment, issues of poverty, and trade is really key to some of these challenges. And for Namibia, I think the key objectives as far as this agreement is concerned, it really comes down to the implementation plan that the government specifically laid out that defines Namibia's prepositions in terms of participating in this, agreement. And if you recall very well, and this ties to this implementation plan, when our current president resumed her duties in March, 21st of March, she really highlighted her key, she really highlighted the interest in developing some of the key industries, the agriculture, the cosmetic industry, and issues of value chain. So these are the key industries that Namibia seeks to leverage and to enhance going into this trading under the FTA. And also think of the great potential of our natural resources that we have in the country. We are a producer of cement, and so because we have the natural resources, we have limestone. In the country, we have gypsum. That's the key ingredients in the cement industry. And why that industry is not propelling, is not developing, is because of the small market. And this really provides us that opportunity to tap to the other markets. And also think of the beef industry. We know the conundrum that surrounds the beef industry, the issues that relate to markets. And this really unlocks those key potentials that are very key enablers to unlock, or they are key enablers to address the triple challenges that we have, which is unemployment, poverty, and inequality.
So speaking of these rich resources that Namibia is well documented in having, as well as the strategic location of the country, how would you suggest Namibia leverages these advantages under the AfCFTA? What is the best practice here?
Yes, and here, of course, this creates all opportunities. There is consensus. Research has really came out loud. It does show that there's potential. And for me, personally, I would say that it comes down to how we position ourselves to really take from those potential. As you rightfully indicate, that we have the upper hand, the advantage of being the strategic location of Namibia. Key to mention here is the Vosbe-Ndola Lubumbashi, corridor that links Namibia to the northern part of the world. It links Namibia to Zambia, Zimbabwe, and DRC Congo. We know that those countries, try to they link us to the northern part of, the continent. And this is key really for Namibia. And key to that, we have our Vosbe port. The Vosbe port is also a gateway to the western part of the continent, which is very strategic, in terms of the market, in terms of the population. We know that the heavily populated part of the continent. We also have, our highest trading partner, South Africa. We are linked through the Trans-Kalahari corridor that passes through Botswana. So this really speaks to the key enablers that we need to leverage so that, we reap the key benefits to this. Infrastructure is key. Access to this infrastructure, we know what it does to business. It does lower the cost of business, and really these are what we need to leverage on so that we enhance our potential to reap the benefits from this landmark market and agreement.
So when we talk AfCFTA, then we're obviously talking big market that Namibians will get to play in. But then if you are an SME saying that, I'm a small player trying to get into business, do you think Namibian SMEs are ready to compete on that continental level? And what would be your suggestion to the smaller players to sort of get more active and get more understanding of how things work and such?
The answer to that is twofold. I would say yes, on one hand, in a sense that what we have observed over time is that, SMEs have really gained momentum, have really been at the forefront. That's what we have seen in terms of, cross-border trading between countries. And this is really what is central to this concept of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And really, since SMEs have been already doing that, they have been in the game, it's all about really capitalizing on what they have been doing. And secondly, we have also seen the leverage of technology among SMEs, which is really key, a key catalyst, to enhance efficiencies, efficient operations for SMEs, which really lowers operational costs, and improves, competitiveness. But however, we cannot shy away from the reality that we have on the ground, that widely broad-based SMEs lack capacity to be able to compete at that high scale, larger scale, because we know that this really, it will all come down to, economies of scale. And the SMEs will really need to up that game. And these are the challenges really that are very much, common to this industry. We know the issues that relate to skills. These SMEs do not, attract skills. And for them to remain competitive, for them to compete, these are the key enablers that they need. We know that financing is a challenge, investment, and really this will really remain the key bottlenecks to the potential of the SMEs in contributing to Namibia's participation in this agreement.
So, Milner, I think then just before I let you go, maybe just a final message or a final thought that you would give to Namibians, especially young entrepreneurs, about the opportunities offered in this agreement.
Yes, it does provide opportunities. What we have just witnessed is a landmark advent of the first shipment that has been shipped. And this is not all. What we have heard from the government is that they are working with key industries to identify key industries, that should be, supported so that they really participate. And what young entrepreneurs have to do is really to position themselves, is really to see opportunities and leverage, identify those opportunities to their own advantage. And really in business what really matters is not all about, producing. It's all, at the end of the day, it's all about the market. And really, this really presents that greater opportunity to address some of those, chronic, or conventional, challenges that relate to business.